walking around these walls. I thought by now they'd fall, but you have never failed me yet. Waiting for change to come, knowing the battle's won, for you have never failed me yet. The promise still stands, great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands, this is my confidence. You've never failed me yet.
I know the night won't last, your word will come to pass. My heart will sing your praise again. Yeah. Oh, my purpose, Jesus, you're still enough. So keep me within your love, yes. 'Cause my heart will sing your praise again. Oh, we thank you, Lord. Promise still stands, great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands, this is my confidence. You never fail, your promise still stands, great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands, this is my confidence. You never fail me yet.
Oh, you never failed me yet, Lord.
Never fail me.
Oh, God, you're so good. We trust in you. Oh, standing on your promises. Oh, yes, Lord. I've seen you move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way where there was no way, and I believe I'll see you do it again. I've seen you move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way where there was no way, and I believe I'll see you do it again. I've seen you move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way where there was no way, and I believe I'll see you do it again. I've seen you move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way where there was no way, and I believe I'll see you do it again. I've seen you move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You
promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness, Lord. I'm still in your hands, but this is my confidence. You've never failed me yet. Never failed me yet.
The past few weeks have been an incredibly challenging time for so many of us. In the midst of dealing with a global pandemic, we've been vividly reminded of the much deeper and longer-lasting realities of systemic racism, the pervasiveness of white supremacy, and our ongoing need for racial healing. None of this is new. The recent murders of Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd are heartbreaking, yet they're symptomatic of deep-seated biases and discriminatory cultures that have always been a part of the fabric of American society. We, as Abundant Life board and staff, are deeply saddened by this, and we categorically reject the hate and the fear that has contributed to these ongoing realities. In theory, America claims to be the home of the free, where all are created equal, but in reality, we are not all free. Being black in America places you between a rock and a hard place, or to use the imagery of Christian scripture, Pharaoh's army and the Red Sea. On the one hand, on the path towards freedom, there are threats like Pharaoh, threats that happen in a specific moment or season, such as the current pandemic that is seeing blacks disproportionately representative of COVID-19 related deaths. But on the other hand, there are threats that have always been there. The Red Sea of white supremacy, the dehumanization of black and brown bodies, the disposability of those bodies. These have all been staples of American society for centuries. They are in our nation's bones. They are even in the bones of the American church. True freedom and equality have remained elusive dreams for black communities. And in moments like this, it's vital that we practice the discipline of lament, that we give ourselves and we give others the space to sit in the deep sadness and grief that we're all experiencing. We will never fix our nation's problems unless we first stop to feel them. At Abundant Life, one of our 8 core principles is listening to the community. So we must not turn a deaf ear or a blind eye to the struggles of those who have been marginalized and persecuted in our country. We must hear the truth in the cries of those who are hurting, especially in the black community. But we can't stop there. While we must listen to the voices of those echoing the needs for systemic justice and cultural reform, we must also join in those efforts in seeing that change occur. From addressing racism in our nation, in our neighborhoods, to addressing it in our own families, to even addressing it in our own hearts. We can all do better. We can all be better. Praying and longing for reconciliation is great, but the path to reconciliation is through repentance, both for the historical sins that we have inherited and the unjust systems and cultures in which we all participate. God invites us to repent, to have the courage to allow God to expose the sin in our lives and the sin around us, and the courage to believe that God has just enough grace to actually make us new. That is my prayer for us during this time. I invite you to join us in continuing to walk alongside those in our own community as we all recommit ourselves to seeing every person, family, and neighborhood experience an abundant life. In remembrance of the lives that have been lost due to the racism and discrimination in this country, and especially in remembrance of the lives of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery, please join me and the Abundant Life family in a moment of silence.
as you can all see, we are practicing good social distance, and we're gonna make the most of having fun with this in light of all that's happening around us. So here we go. All right. Well, welcome. It's good to be with you all virtually. This is a little bit different than in previous years, but we're adjusting, as all of you are, to our current moment. And so this is our third annual Art of Building Community Night. We're excited to be with you virtually and to take a moment to reflect on what's happened since our last banquet and all the things that we can be celebrating as a ministry and all the good things that God is doing, but also to reflect on ways we might continue joining in this work together to build the community that we all are a part of. And so I'm excited to be with you all. I'm also excited to introduce our MC for this evening, Andrea Copeland Whitsett, who will be moderating our conversation tonight and guiding us throughout the evening. We're excited to have her. She's been in the community for a long time. She serves by mentoring young women and girls in the community, and also is even more known for doing a lot of work in broadcasting, and her award-winning Positive Channels is one of the things she's been producing and working on. That's been an award-winning show, and so we're excited about that. She's had experience moderating panels. She's volunteering in the community and being just a loving and helpful presence to so many people. And so we're excited to have her to lead us in tonight's conversation. I should also say she's a graduate of Piedmont Virginia Community College, as well as Old Dominion University. So I'm gonna turn it over to her and she will lead us.
Thank you, Nathan. I'm excited to be part of your event this evening. And thank you all for who are here supporting it in this new format. We are grateful and appreciative to at least have this format to continue with the community event where you, the community, can continue to support Abundant Light. Nathan, again, thank you all for having me to be part of this event. So how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. We're
All
all
right.
adjusting and just getting acclimated to our new normal, but it's a beautiful day.
It's a gorgeous day out here. And as you were reading about me, I was doing a little reading up on you because you've been here almost, 2 years now?
So I've been in this role for 2 years.
2 years?
Time flies.
How's the adjustment been?
Oh gosh, adjustment's a good word. It's been a lot of adjusting, but very, very good things. I'm trying to think of what my expectations were when I first stepped into this role. I knew it would be a lot of work, but I also knew that I'd be surrounded by a lot of really great people who are just passionate about the work of community development in a Christian context. And so it's been really encouraging to just have the support of not just staff and board, but also community members, just to join this work together. And so probably what's made this season of the last 2 years really special for me is the fact that I've recognized that I'm not alone. I don't have to do it alone because we're all in this together trying to make our communities better.
Yeah, and I'm sure in those 2 years you can look back and see where you've made tremendous accomplishments and strides since taking over the leadership role.
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes. No one could have told me, well, if somebody had told me when I first got hired that a couple months in we'd be buying another house, I don't think I would believe that. That wasn't in the job description. But it kind of just goes to show you that, nonprofit leadership and ministry work in general brings a lot of surprises. But it's really, really great when those surprises are good things.
Yeah.
And so I think what's been encouraging about the last couple of years is even the things that have been unpredictable or surprising have been actually really helpful things for our ministry and really opportunities for us to ask the question, how do we serve faithfully in this new moment or this new context? And the current moment is similar to that,
Right.
And so as I think about some of the things that have happened over the past couple of years, we've seen the launch of our new Abundant Life Fellows program. We had our inaugural class over the past year since our last banquet. We've had our three first Strive alum, which is our high school mentoring program, who now graduated from college. Hannibal Reed Jr. We've had Luis Sanchez, who's also graduated. He's now actually on staff with Abundant Life. And then we also had Paul Fry III, who recently graduated. And so we've just been celebrating, the great work they put in. Because our privilege to walk alongside them, but it's they who do the work, And so we just want to encourage them in what they're doing. That's been great. We also hired a new young men's program coordinator, Bruce Bowling, to strengthen up that program. And in the past 2 years, we've also hired a new young women's coordinator, or young ladies program coordinator, Sonia Montalvo. So lots of great people, and that's really been a means towards an end. And that end is really just seeing our programs flourish and our residents flourish.
Yeah.
And so I've been inspired by that.
Okay. I mean, we're living in a time, you mentioned it, that, anything can change from day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. And it's exciting to see all that happen since the last banquet. And when you mentioned Hannibal Reed, it's like it clicked. I know him. I know his mom, Antoinette. So yeah, grew up with her, and know Bruce Bowling as well. So you got someone who's definitely passionate about working with young folks and young men as well. So that's good to hear. All right. So speaking of this season that we're in, COVID-19. So how have you all been adjusting to it programmatically? Because like with many things, businesses, organizations had to close some. But what have you all done to adjust?
Adjustments is the right word. And so the first thing we did was we tried to assess what was happening, right? And what could we still do, what could we not do? Probably the first kind of hit to our programming was when UVA encouraged the students to remain at home after spring break. That took out a whole host of our tutors. And that was before the schools even closed down. And so we were already asking that question, how do we run a tutoring program without having tutors? What do we do? And then we also had to cancel some events. We had a college road trip planned for the guys and had to shift to doing that virtually. We had a fundraiser planned and had to cancel that and shift to doing some things online. But what we realized is, even though there have been things like this current season that have happened, it's really an opportunity for us to ask the question, how do we remain true to who we are even in this new moment? Yeah. Are there opportunities for us to be faithful to the work that we feel called to? And so we've been asking that question if, the heart of our ministry is really about relationships, about being present with one another. How do we do that? How do we do that? And I think if anything, this season has forced us to be very creative with that. Yeah. And so we've seen a lot of shifts in our programming. I mean, if you think about our elementary school programming, for example, we're used to having tutoring after school, in person, one-on-one, close proximity. Yeah. And we're used to having Bible Club, which is our devotional group after school for elementary school students. And so we had to shift to doing a lot of that online. With our Bible Club, every week we now post video sessions to kind of talk about, scriptures and to talk about encouraging messages for folks to tune in that way. For our tutoring students, we've also encouraged and had our staff, some board members, and also volunteers to write personal letters to their tutees, just to maintain the connection and to let them know that we are, thinking and praying about them and hoping that they're coping with what's happening well. And so those have been some of the programming changes. For our other mentoring groups, we've shifted online as well. But we see ourselves as a family ministry. And so in addition to trying to think creatively about how do we do Zoom calls with middle school guys or things like that, we've also created basically a schedule for how we follow up with each individual family. And so staff is sharing those responsibilities just to check in, to see how people are doing, to see if there are ways we can be walking alongside them. And then also we've been trying to ask the question as an organization, how do we be a helpful resource in this time? We're not a relief agency, we're a community development organization. Right. And so we're not used to doing a lot of relief work, but there are a lot of agencies in the city that are doing that really well. And so we asked the question, how do we connect our residents with the resources that they need if they have any needs related to that? And then also asking the question, are there assets that our neighborhood members have that we can wield to bless the broader community? And so, a lot of what that's looked like for us in terms of connecting people with resources has been, partnering with the PB&J Fund or with Charlottesville City Schools to make sure that all of our students had lunch meals. It looked like actually sending board volunteers and staff volunteers to actually provide meals. It looked like connecting folks with the Charlottesville Area Community Foundation's emergency fund to make sure if they needed resources, they could contact those outlets. And so a lot of our kind of broader organizational role has shifted to being a better liaison, so that people have what they need.
Let's talk about how the community can still get involved. You did an excellent job explaining. You all are still in business. You're being creative about how you fulfill your mission. And we're here because we want the community, you all, to continue supporting Abundant Life as they have short and long-term goals. So speak about the impact, the support for those who support your ministry. Speak more about that impact, not just in the immediate need, but in the future.
So there are a lot of ways that folks are impacting our work and have impacted our work, and we hope that will continue. And one of those ways is just through allowing us to continue our programming. I mean, we know that so many folks have been affected financially by the situation, but we can't do our work without being able to supply, the staffing and the programmatic infrastructure to engage in the relationship work that we do. And so, in a very general sense, it helps us to just keep going. One of the things I noticed over the last couple of years is we've built up a lot of momentum, and I refuse to believe that this is a moment in which that momentum has to stop because of a lack of resources. At the same time, there's some other really cool things happening organizationally. So, for example, after we purchased the second house back in July of 2018. One of the things you realize when you purchase houses, there's work to be done unless it's brand new, there's things to be done to fix it, right? And so we're fortunate just about a month and a half ago to get confirmation from a local foundation that we have matching funds available to finish renovating our basement in our recently purchased house. And so they're offering $9,000, and if we can raise another $9,000, and so as folks contribute tonight, that will go towards those matching funds as well. And that's really going to give us a lot of support because with some of the programs we're thinking, okay, we'll be outside, we don't know if we're going to be in schools initially. And so we're trying to invest in tents and just try to be creative about how we can still host things on site safely. But, we also need space indoors in case, let's say it's raining. How do we have enough space to be distant to be able to sufficiently run programs? And so doing some of those renovations will actually broaden our programmatic capacity in that way. And so those are some of the things. We also have been asking questions about how do we actually serve a productive role in terms of mental health support for, and I'm noticing that for myself, for staff, for board members, for residents, all of us, because we're all kind of coping with this. And so we're in partnership with a few different mental health professionals to try to think creatively about what does that look like in the next season? How do we walk alongside residents or anybody, even staff, who are having a hard time really wrestling with what's happening and the new normal.
Yeah.
And so in order to have those partnerships, it requires resources. And so the funds that folks give tonight are helping out with that, and they're helping out with the basement renovations, and they're also overall helping us to adjust programmatically to the shifts due to COVID-19.
Again, you all are continuing to work. Nothing stopped with Abundant Life. You just shifted how you were fulfilling your mission. And we need you, the community, to continue to support them so they can continue with fulfilling the mission there. So, wishing you the best, and thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Now let's take a glimpse of what has been happening with Abundant Life over the past year and how they're adjusting to all the changes with COVID-19.
Since our last year's banquet, there have been a ton of changes that have been really positive and helpful for our ministry. We saw the launch of our inaugural class of Abundant Life Fellows. We saw the hiring of Bruce Bowling, our new Young Men's Program Coordinator. And we also saw the hiring of Luis Sanchez, who's stepped into the role of Middle School Tutoring Coordinator, who's actually from our neighborhood. Much of what has happened with COVID-19 is it's forced us into trying to react very quickly and respond to what's going on around us. And really that's been an opportunity to think about how to partner well with those who are similarly engaged in just blessing the broader community. And so for us, that's looked like looking for opportunities to partner with city schools or partner with the PB&J Fund to make sure that families that need food or have access to food. That's also looked like exploring other opportunities with agencies that are providing masks.
We offer one-to-one tutoring as well as a Bible club. So they have 90 minutes where they come in, they have outdoor time, they have a snack, and then they are paired with a tutor and either have reading or math support. And then for Bible club, they have outside time, snack time, and that is paired with musical worship and Bible lessons and activities. We've been doing weekly Bible Club videos, which are posted on YouTube, and then the links are sent out to the families so the kids can watch them whenever it's convenient. And then I've also been doing some special shout outs to each student where I will just affirm them with a lot of things that describe their personality and their strengths. And then I've also made a portrait of each child, and it gets featured on Facebook, and I will tag their parents.
So before quarantine, Royal Girls was just a group of girls meeting weekly to discuss biblical principles and bond over sisterhood. Since quarantine, our meetings have transferred over to virtual Zoom calls where the girls kind of check in with us and we discuss a scripture, but then also give the girls a chance and an opportunity to talk about their own lives, what's been going on that week, what are some things that we can support them in. I'm just amazed by the willingness to continue every Thursday, logging on, whether they're in the grocery stores with their moms or they're in the bed, they are not hesitant to show up. And so that warms my heart.
One of the things that had to be canceled was our spring break college road trip that we've done 7 or 8 years in a row now, because all of our participants are potential first generation college students. And so it's important to us that they get exposed to different colleges and college life if that is something that they desire for themselves. But what we did instead was kind of set up a virtual afternoon of touring different colleges.
Continue just to keep in contact with them and calling and checking on them. We did have one who was so excited that he texted all of us and told us that he got a job working at Taco Bell.
One of the things that we decided to do is produce a video that we have decided to entitle Abundant Wisdom.
And the basic idea of it was to have staff members share wisdom and insight on how to deal with certain aspects of life. Now that we are in quarantine, how do you do online education with your children through school and homeschool basically while still having a job? Of one of our principles of CCDA, actually empowering our community and not pretending like we have all the answers. Now the ideas of having the community actually share videos of wisdom themselves of how they are dealing with the social distancing and quarantine and how they are doing that with different aspects of their life, and we're putting that together into a video.
This will be a way for us to be able to hear from our neighbors and just being able to support each other. And I think it will also, for those that may not be aware, that we are still out here, we're still connecting with the community.
We don't feel like COVID-19 has to mean the end of our connection to our neighbors. And so we want to be just creative about how we sustain those relationships and hopefully can continue to deepen them.
You still have time to bid on items if you're still interested. The auction will be open through June 12th, and you can go to charlottesvilleabundantlife.org. The information is also on the bottom of your screen. We're excited now to present the 3rd annual Sherman Rogers Community Builders Award. This is Charlottesville Abundant Life's annual award. It's just 3 years young, and it's named for the founders of Abundant Life, and they are Dr. Amy Sherman, who attends Trinity Presbyterian Church, where we are filming out here on this beautiful day, and also named after Mrs. Lula Rogers, who was a longtime resident of the Prospect neighborhood. And here to introduce this award to the Kramer family is Ann Brown.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ann Brown, and I'm the Director of Community Engagement here at Abundant Life Ministries. And it is my absolute pleasure to present our 2020 recipient of our Sherman Rogers Award, our Community Builder Award. And that is the Kramer family. Just want to share a little bit about the award and how our team made the decision to select them as our 2020 recipient, and then we'll hear from the Kramers. The Sherman Rogers Community Builder Award was created for an individual within the Prospect neighborhood or volunteer or partner who works to build and transform the community into one which reflects God's abundance. Specifically, this award recognizes one who identifies and needs and develops creative strategies to address the needs, dedicates time, treasure, and talents to programs and projects, inspires others to become involved in and to support this transforming work, and actively demonstrates a commitment to Christ and his kingdom principles. So some of the things that were shared about your family is just how committed you've been to Abundant Life on a consistent basis. Specifically with our Christmas store, that is one of our major events, and it's also so such a blessing for us when we have families that put it on their calendar. It's something that they expect to do on an annual basis, and we really appreciate that. The kids look forward to it, and it's just a great experience for everybody involved. You also, I know the Luendo family is very dear to you all, and you've definitely made an impact on their lives. And just a lot of things that are done behind the scenes. When I think about the work that I know that you all do and have heard that you did before my time with the ministry, I realize a lot of things can be done behind the scenes. And I think that's just another way of giving God glory and not looking for man's accolades, but just knowing that you're using him and doing the things that he's leading you to do. So yeah, we would love to present you with this award. This award is presented to the Kramer family in appreciation of your dedication, inspiration, and commitment to the Prospect neighborhood. Again, thank you all for your continued support of Abundant Life, and we're just so thrilled to be able to honor you in this way. So is there anything you would like to share with us tonight?
Well, thank you so much. I mean, we are really honored to receive this award, and it's been fun as a family to all be involved. So we've all had a level with the Christmas store, like you said, for well over 12 years. And the kids have done everything from when they were little, play outside with kids waiting to shop, to moving up to wrapping in the attic, to actually shopping with kids. And they have loved all of that. And Cooper has had the opportunity to tutor when he was in middle school at Johnson, and then most recently this year at UVA at Walker. Thank you. And then Brittany, my other daughter, when she was the first year, she tutored at Buford. And then this is Mike and Ashley. And so we have all done, like you said, the Christmas store. And even when they were younger, we were involved in the summer camp program that was over at Trinity, and just participate in that by playing with kids and helping with the Bible studies and different things like that. But it's been a joy to partner with you. We love your heart for Prospect and the people that live there. And as you said, there's several of the teen moms I work with over the years that have lived in that community that have benefited from Abundant Life. And it is just a joy and a privilege to be able to partner with you in that neighborhood that we've been in for well over 10 years now. So we're grateful for each of you as well, and the small part that we got to play in that.
Wow. Thank you so much. And for those of you all joining us tonight, I hope that you will join Abundant Life as we celebrate the Kramer family and their gift to this ministry. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And we're excited to bring to you a young man who literally grew up an abundant life. He started when he was in the first grade and went all the way when he became a senior in high school. And so we're going to hear a testimony from Mr. Paul Fry III.
My name is Paul Fry. I grew up in Prospect Avenue. I got involved with Abundant Life in the years of 2001 to 2012. So I first started in the first grade, and I loved it. Abundant Life means a lot to my family. My mom has 4 kids, and she was working 2 jobs at the time. So she needed us to stay engaged in school. She needed us to stay focused in school. So with her working so much, we needed another outlet, a positive outlet to do our homework, make sure we get the tutoring that we need, make sure we stay on top of our grades, make sure we do everything that we're supposed to do. And Abundant Life has been a big factor in my life, and that helped me be who I am today and help me accomplish so many goals and dreams that I have had in my life. So I first started tutoring in 2001. From there, I've been to the Walker tutoring, the Beaufort tutoring. I got engaged into the summer counseling. I've been in the STRIDE program my 12th grade year, which is a program to help high school students better transition themselves when they go into college. So I've been in that. So I pretty much, from my years all the way to high school, still in college, I've always been engaged in Abundant Life. One of my favorite memories from Abundant Life was the Christmas store. That helped my mom out. She didn't have to worry about Christmas at time. She didn't have to worry about getting us all the gifts because Abundant Life helped us with that. I remember a lot of people. The ones who really stuck out to me is Dylan and Richard. They've always been on my case in school, and I used to like to joke around a lot, and they used to be like, Paul, we gotta get this work. We gotta get serious. So it was times that I could be serious with them. It was times I could be playful with them. So they always had a big impact on my life. They always made sure I did what I was supposed to do. Also, Jim, I met Jim during the STRIDE program. He was the one who helped me accomplish all my goals in my last year high school. Make sure I done everything I was supposed to do. Make sure I look for other outlets like financial aid. Make sure I stay on top of scholarships. Make sure I stay applying for schools. So with them three guys, I would like to thank them for everything that they have done in my life. Since then, I've graduated from Radford University, me and my wife. We've had our beautiful child, Genesis. I've been working at the juvenile detention home, so my job there, I'm a counselor. I mentor other kids who need positive outlets, need somebody to look up to. So Abundant Life has helped me fill those shoes that they needed for that job. So Abundant Life has helped me get where I am because it has shaped my faith. It helped me get into and through college. It helped me be a good husband, helped me become a good father. It influenced my career path working with at-risk youth. It helped me be able to be a more positive influence on them, a better counselor, be able to speak with them, be able to have that connection with them, because I know I've been in a similar situation as them. It's not somebody to judge them, it's somebody to be there for them. I can't speak for the whole neighborhood, but for me, Abundant Life has made a huge difference in my life. It helped me see potential in myself that I didn't see before. It gave me the hope that I have purpose in my life. I didn't let the environment that I was raised up in define who I am, because I beat the odds and I remained humble through it all, and I beat all the statistics that was held against me.
This evening you have learned about this organization that has been in our community for many years doing good work, Charlottesville Abundant Life. And we're coming to you, we're appealing to you to continue supporting this organization, to support this organization so they can continue fulfilling their mission. We want to reach out to you, to those who can give. We understand that given the season that we're in, a lot of people have been impacted financially. And for those of you who can't give right now, that's okay. We solicit your prayers for Charlottesville Abundant Life. But those of you who can, we're asking that you will give and give generously. Many of you out there, you had vacations planned. I can relate. We had to cancel vacations, but that's okay. So vacations cost money. You're now not spending that money. So perhaps here is where you can sow that money. Charlottesville Abundant Life is good ground. And we assure you that if you sow into this ground, it will reap a good harvest. So we encourage you to give and give generously. The funds will go towards programmatic adjustments to COVID-19 that Dr. Walton spoke about. This will also include increased mental health services. We understand self-care is very important. They can't pour out of an empty vessel, so they can continue to support themselves mentally and the neighbors. Mentally, it's better for the community all around. So give. matching funds that they spoke about, someone already is already ready to give $9,000 to match those funds. We can raise that $9,000 for those basement renovations in the new house. And it's also to sustain their momentum. And we need you all to do that. So give, and give generously. And again, if you can't, it's okay. We just ask that you continue to pray for Charlottesville Abundant Life, that they will continue to be out there serving our community. So how can you give? charlottesvilleabundantlife.org/give. You will scroll to the bottom and click on the Support ABC tab. Their goal is $40,000. It can be done. It can be done. And with your help, they can reach this goal. So we thank you. Again, charlottesvilleabundantlife.org/give. Scroll to the bottom, click on Support ABC. As soon as this is over, go to the website. You know what? You got your cell phone by you? Go ahead and pull it up now and give. We thank you. It's been a great evening. It's been a great evening. Nathan, it's been exciting. So, you feeling good about everything?
I do. Thank you so much.
All right. I do want to thank you all for having me to be part of your virtual organization this evening. And again, I wish you all continued success at Charlottesville Abundant Life. And I'm going to now just turn it over to you to close out tonight's event. All right.
Thanks so much. It was a pleasure having you. And yeah, this has been exciting. So you all have heard a lot tonight. We're so deeply grateful for you joining us for our third annual ABC event. And so we're excited to continue the work together. Hopefully you've had a glimpse of kind of what we've been doing over the past year, but also hopefully you've been inspired by the promise of us taking additional steps alongside you and alongside the neighbors that we walk alongside every week. And so I'm excited about our future together. I do want to say thank you to all of our sponsors for tonight's event. There's so many businesses that have given of themselves, even during this tough time, to make tonight possible. And so we want to say that we're grateful to them, and we also are very grateful for all those who contributed for our art auction, who shared of their gifts and their talents. And thank you most of all to you for joining us for tonight, and we look forward to being in touch in the near future.
We will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at
last. Jesus is black, yes he is. And he knows exactly what suffering is. 'Cause under the sways of the lynching tree, he redeemed and set his people free. The burning cross is a wicked lie. It says that black men, they should die. It lusts for endless flowing blood. The veins of Christ are not enough, no. So we stand as one and sing to the only living King, yes, who is able to heal. But I can't breathe under these feet. I can't breathe when I've been beat. And mamas are on can't breathe, can't breathe under these feet. I can't breathe when I've been beat. Mama's are on the street, and they're raising the voice. I can't breathe, can't breathe under these feet. Can't breathe when I've been beat, and mama's are on the street, and the voices are raising the voice. Can't breathe, can't breathe under these feet. 'Cause I can't breathe, no, when I've been beat. Mama's are on the street, and they're raising the voices. I can't breathe under these feet. I can't breathe when I've been beat. And mamas are on the street, yeah. And they're raising their voices, say, I can't breathe under these feet. I can't breathe when I've been beat, yeah. And mamas are on the street, and they're raising their